Welcome back to the Historical Photos channel. Get ready to travel back in time with rare photos from around the world, full of fascinating stories. Stay until the end. You'll be amazed. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and share your thoughts in the comments. At just 20, Hiroshima survivor Shigeki Tanaka crossed the finish line to win the 1951 Boston Marathon. His victory wasn't just athletic. It became a quiet symbol of resilience and hope after one of history's darkest moments. On the floor of an ancient Roman bath in Bivagna, Italy, a stunning 1,800-year-old octopus mosaic still amazes. With intricate detail and timeless beauty, it shows how even daily spaces in ancient Rome were touched by artistic elegance. Behind the scenes of the first Godzilla movie in 1954, the terrifying monster was just a man in a rubber suit walking through miniatures. Far from high-tech, it was pure creativity that brought the legend to life on screen. In 1902, a 7-year-old named George Herman Ruth stood for a photo, unaware he'd one day become Babe Ruth. On the right side of the image, he was just a regular kid standing at the edge of baseball greatness. In 1905, the Vauxhall Motor Hansom cab was one of the first steps toward replacing horse-drawn taxis. With its own engine, it quietly marked the beginning of a new era in urban transportation. Invented in 1865, the Hanson writing ball was the first commercially produced typewriter. With its unusual shape and semicircular keys, it transformed how people recorded words on paper. In 1965, Sammy Davis Jr. geared up for a celebrity boxing match, getting last-minute tips from the champ. The moment showed his charm and versatility, shining both on stage and in the ring. In 1952, the Universe 25 experiment gave mice unlimited food and shelter. But overpopulation triggered social collapse, aggression, isolation, and decline. A chilling reflection on how abundance alone can't prevent breakdown. In 1928, Ipatiev House stood quietly, but its walls held a grim past. A decade earlier, Tsar Nicholas II, his family, and their servants were executed there, an event that ended the Romanov dynasty and shocked the world. Taken around 1900, this photo is considered one of the earliest selfies in history. With a simple look at the camera, the person captured a moment of self-expression, long before social media made the practice so popular. In the middle of nowhere, a man faces the challenge of fixing a flat tire. With no help around and limited resources, he must rely on patience and creativity to overcome the obstacle. Percy Hodge, the Olympic champion in the 3,000-meter steeplechase, demonstrates the perfect hurdle technique. His skill and precision in clearing obstacles showed why he excelled in one of the most demanding events in athletics. In 1913, at the Epsom Derby, jockey Herbert Jones rode Anmer when Emily Davison, a militant suffragette, ran in front of the horses in a dramatic protest. The incident led to her death, becoming a symbol of resistance for women's rights. In 1897, aboard the USS Oregon, an exciting boxing match took place among the sailors. The photo captures the camaraderie and courage aboard a warship that symbolized America's naval strength, while the men trained and had fun at sea. In 1971, in Belgium, a curious image captures workers transitioning from 2 shifts to 1 shift per day due to economic changes. The photo reflects a time of adjustment and challenges in the labor and economic landscape. In 1900, the image captures 3 distinct modes of transport in London: the farthing coin, the bus, and a motorcycle sidecar, all crossing Hammersmith Bridge. The scene illustrates the shift from traditional transport to new inventions, marking an era of modernization. In the 1st century, Romans were frequent visitors to Egypt, and the steps leading to the Sphinx were one of the most notable attractions. These steps, which made access to the monument easier, were removed in 1931, erasing a piece of history of Roman interactions with ancient Egypt. In 1959, farmers in Konya, Italy, were at the peak of haying, a vital rural tradition for feeding livestock during winter. The scene captures the beauty of manual labor, essential for the survival of communities in the mountainous regions of the Alps. In 1947, Howard Hughes, the visionary billionaire and aviator, tested a model of his famous aircraft, the Spruce Goose, in California. This historic moment marked his relentless pursuit of aviation innovations, despite the skepticism that his creation was impossible to achieve. In 1935, in Hackney, London, future tram conductors underwent rigorous training, learning the essential skills to operate these vital vehicles in urban transport. The scene highlights the dedication and professionalism of these workers, crucial for the city's mobility. In 1980, a 1st century BCE Roman shipwreck was discovered in Comacchio, northern Italy. The ship, over 2,000 years old, provides a unique glimpse into Roman naval engineering, preserving artifacts and revealing details about the trade and maritime life of the time. In 1926, women of the Illinois Women's Athletic Club enjoyed sunbathing on the club's rooftop, reflecting an era of increasing freedom and changing female roles. The photo showcases the pursuit of health and wellness in a time when sports and outdoor activities were becoming popular among women. In 1937, Selfridges in London was lavishly decorated for the coronation of King George VI. The grandeur of the decorations reflected the significance of the event, with the entire city coming together to celebrate the new reign, marking a significant chapter in British monarchy history. In 1960, a mod in London showcased their heavily mirrored Lambretta, reflecting the youth subculture of the time. Mods were known for their sharp fashion, music, and attitude, and this scooter became an icon of personal expression and urban style. In 1924, safety equipment for skating began to be used, marking an important step in the evolution of sports. Roller skates, once a more dangerous pastime, became safer with a greater focus on athlete well-being, reflecting a growing awareness of safety in recreational activities. In 1920, a dinosaur skeleton was moved piece by piece to the Boston Museum. It took extreme planning, steady hands, and great care to preserve each bone, a real-life Jurassic puzzle on the move. In 1931, engineers tested a rocket-powered scooter to reinvent personal transport. It looked cartoonish, but was very real and risky. Speed was thrilling, but control? Not so much. During the 1935 heat wave, Londoners found relief by paddling in the Thames. Adults and kids waded into the river, turning the city's heat into an unexpected moment of joy and escape. In 1971, a bump into one shelf at Ohio State University triggered chaos. 50,000 books fell in a massive domino effect. What started small became legendary in library mishaps across America. In 1910, the Westward yacht, one of the fastest boats of its time, cut through the waters with full force. Its innovative design and impressive sails made it a symbol of luxury and performance in yacht racing. In 1910, luxury and sophistication took shape with the introduction of the French limousine. With its elegant and innovative design, it offered a new travel experience, becoming a symbol of status and exclusivity in society at the time. In 1919, London fell silent for 2 minutes to honor the fallen of World War I. This simple yet powerful gesture marked mourning and reflection on the tragedy, bringing the city together in a moment of remembrance and respect for the lost heroes. In 1905, a historic photo captured 4 generations of the same family. Each face represented a different era, an unbroken link between the past, present, and future, symbolizing the continuity and legacy passed down from one generation to the next in a portrait of tradition and family love. The 1899 Paris Exposition was a showcase of innovation and culture, bringing together the brightest minds of the time. With impressive pavilions and new inventions, the event marked an era of progress and fascination, reflecting the grandeur of a city that was the cultural hub of the world. In 1905, the courting stick was a popular accessory in New York, used by couples to show affection in public discreetly. The idea was that by holding the stick together, young people could walk side by side without direct contact, respecting social norms of the time. Lon Chaney, the master of disguise, insisted on doing his own makeup for films. In 1925, during the making of The Phantom of the Opera, he created one of the most iconic transformations in film history, molding his own face to bring the mysterious and terrifying character to life without professional help. In 1961, Alan B. Shepard boarded the Freedom 7 capsule to become the first American in space. Cramped and uncomfortable, his historic mission paved the way for U.S. space exploration, marking the beginning of the space race with a daring 15-minute journey. In 1974, Franco Columbu, weightlifting champion and longtime friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger, poses with Sylvester Stallone in New York. Together, they influenced the worlds of bodybuilding and cinema, with Stallone preparing for his role in Rocky, while Columbu shared his expertise in physical training. In 1880, daring workers climbed to the top of the Cologne Gothic Cathedral for essential repairs. The breathtaking height and views showcased the determination of an era where engineering and human courage were challenged to preserve the cathedral's historical and architectural grandeur. In a historic photo, 4 war veterans from different eras come together, one from the U.S. Civil War, 1861, one from the Spanish-American War, 1898, one from World War I, 1914-1918, and one from World War II, 1939-1945. Each carries the scars of battles that defined generations. In 1897, the Colosseum in Rome was still a grand symbol of ancient Rome, but surprisingly, no tickets were required for entry. The monument, once the stage for gladiator fights, was open to the public, drawing curious visitors and tourists who marveled at its history and architecture. In 1930, the Broughton lumber flume in Washington wasn't just a wood transportation system, but also a thrilling 9-mile ride. The journey through the turbulent waters was a breathtaking experience where workers and adventurers experienced the pace of the lumber industry in a unique and daring way. In 1884, the Whim steam was the machine that made transporting timber an efficient operation in Melbourne. It collected and delivered whole trees to sawmills, an innovation that sped up wood production and boosted the growth of the local industry. Jonathan the tortoise was photographed in 1886 at 54 years old. Today, he is the world's oldest living land animal at 193 years. His incredible longevity has become a symbol of resilience, surviving over a century and witnessing generations. In 1925, Dr. Rue Bush took veterinary care to the streets of Washington, D.C. with a mobile clinic. His pioneering work aimed to provide quick and accessible care for pets, revolutionizing veterinary practice and bringing the professional closer to people during a time of great urban challenges. In the 1930s, baby cages were used by parents living in crowded city apartments. The idea was to give babies access to fresh air by hanging them on balconies. Although strange by today's standards, these cages were seen as a solution to the lack of space and ventilation in big cities. In 1931, the streets of New York were a stage for incredible urban acrobatics. Street performers defied gravity, wowing the crowd with extraordinary skills, offering a spectacle of art and agility while fighting for survival amid the harsh reality of the Great Depression. In 1928, BMW launched its first production car, the Dixie. During its production, engineers faced technical challenges, but the model marked the beginning of a new era for the automaker, laying the foundation for BMW's future success in luxury and performance automobiles. During World War II, the War Machine was a 30,000-ton press used to create essential components for German aircraft. Its massive production power helped accelerate the manufacturing of military planes, reflecting the intensity and escalation of the conflict. In the 1940s, the German ship Gneisenau suffered a devastating attack by a British submarine, leaving a massive hole in its hull. The captured scene shows the damage caused by the torpedo, symbolizing the brutality and tactics of submarine warfare during World War II. In 1865, in this courthouse, negotiations for the official surrender of the Confederacy were underway, marking the end of the American Civil War. The fate of thousands of lives and the country's reconstruction were being decided, a historic moment of intense tension and hope for the future. After the tragic Munich air disaster in 1958, Bobby Charlton is seen recovering in the hospital days after the tragedy that devastated Manchester United. The image captures the physical and emotional impact of the event, symbolizing resilience and the fight for recovery after the loss. In 1944, Pablo Picasso was in Paris, creating works that reflected the chaos of World War II and the pursuit of freedom. Amid the conflict, he used his art as a form of resistance, leaving a powerful legacy that would transcend the adversities of his time. In 1947, the UK faced the Great Freeze. Saddleworth in West Riding of Yorkshire was particularly affected, with extreme temperatures and deep snow that paralyzed daily life. The event became one of the harshest winters in British history, challenging the population. In 1900, E.J. Christie designed the one-wheeled motorcycle in Marion, Iowa. With an innovative and futuristic design for its time, the machine pushed the boundaries of engineering, serving as a precursor to ideas that would shape the future of two-wheeled vehicles, even though it never became popular. Anthony Joseph Drexel Biddle, Sr. was a Marine hand-to-hand combat expert who trained soldiers during both World Wars. His skill and dedication were crucial in preparing the military for intense battles, leaving a legacy of discipline and strength within the armed forces. The old courthouse in Massilia, NM, is famous for being the place where Billy the Kid was sentenced to hang in the late 1800s. The death sentence of the infamous outlaw marked a dark chapter in the history of the Wild West, and the building remains a symbol of that turbulent time. Over 100 years ago, the photo of the London Underground captured the beginning of a new era for public transportation. London's Underground Rail network, one of the oldest in the world, started shaping the city and its inhabitants' lives, symbolizing the revolution in urban transport. Dubai. Then and now, the transformation of this incredible city is visible on every corner. But look closer, and one thing remains constant: Toyota cars still in circulation, showing that while the future evolves, some things don't change, and transportation remains essential. In 1927, the opening of the Holland Tunnel, connecting New York to Jersey City, marked a milestone in engineering and urban transportation. With its opening, a new era of mobility began, revolutionizing traffic and making life easier for thousands of New Yorkers and visitors. In 1840s London, the Postal Service delivered mail 12 times a day, reflecting the intense need for communication at the time. This revolutionary system helped connect people, businesses, and ideas, marking a crucial step in the development of the city and modern postal services. In 1929, Bonnie Parker worked as a waitress at Marco's Cafe in Dallas before becoming famous alongside Clyde Barrow. This rare image of her youth shows the simple life she led before getting involved in crime, eventually becoming one of the most infamous figures in American history. In 1963, Howard Rogers, Polaroid's chief chemist, stood next to 5,000 bottles of chemicals used to discover the color film process. His research revolutionized photography, making color images accessible and forever changing the industry. In 1910, in Norway, fishermen set out to sea in small boats, seeking their livelihood. The image captures a simple, essential moment of daily life, reflecting the deep connection between Norwegians and the sea, which has always been crucial to the country's economy and culture. In 1967, a helicopter gunner at Bien Hoa Air Base in Vietnam prepares 40mm grenades, ready for action. The image captures the tension and challenges faced by soldiers during the conflict, reflecting the violence and complexity of the Vietnam War. This haunting photograph from 1912, taken just 1 minute before an unknown prisoner's life came to a quiet and sorrowful end in China, conveys a sense of stillness and sadness. The captured moment reflects the drama of a silent end, leaving a mystery about the man's identity and story. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like to support our work. I separated 2 videos for you to continue diving into the story. See you in the next video.